So my name is Omar Rampersad. It's 3:45 p.m. July 29, 2019. So I posted some videos yesterday about being harassed in the lobby. And um, so these are people who are living in the building. And based on the comments that I hear outside the window and the fact that I'm a target, it would seem that the way the targeting is arranged in this building is to facilitate trafficking. So I'm flagged based on lies. Then the monitoring is outsourced. Then the person who has the receipt who signed me out of the system creates a team, and the team creates another team, and so on. So at the end of the day, gangs can be involved in the stalking and the harassment. So there were some comments that was made in the lobby yesterday that said, I got used to that. This is a comment I hear outside the window by contractors, by patrons using the loading dock, by workers. In the context, in well, let me say, in conversing about logging into a woman. So I could see her, meaning I could see the person share, and you're logging into her, so you're used to her, used to seeing her, used to hearing her, used to seeing her in the bathroom, in the bedroom, and so on. So if the person is gross, then you're used to her. So this was said by someone who's a son of the worker, and putting it in the context to in relation to what I hear the father say outside the window. It because the father also says he's used to her, and it's a gerbil. And I see you and effing whore, and stop effing yourself. Speaking of masturbation, so the idea is that this person is looking at you inside your home and seeing everything about you, and he's making comments about it, and he's used to it. So other conversations from contractors and other people in the loading dock seem to indicate that because these people are supposed to update you and terrorize you about what's being done to you by people who are logging into you, monitoring, quote unquote. So you're dropped hints with the names and what the person like to see, what time he's going to be logging in, like 7 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and so on. So I gathered that this individual had the contract for a long time, and Gord, a previous building superintendent, had the contract as well. And when Gord had the contract, some Muslim neighbors who are not in the building anymore were subcontracting for him, and they were doing exactly the same thing the ones are doing right now. They're setting me up, framing me, lying about me, saying things like I'm suicidal, depressed, and so on, close to bankruptcy, and so on. So they're constantly calling the cops because they are working with the cops. And since it's an experiment that needs to be covered up, then of course the cops who are involved are going to take all the steps necessary to cover it up, even if it means mentally committing the person who's not really mentally ill, charging somebody for something they didn't do, just to get them behind bars and cover it up, take away their voice by committing them, compromising their credibility, or putting them behind bars so they have no resources to fight back, absolutely no resources, or taking away their jobs by infiltrating the workplaces, by the need to monitor and harassing the person out of the job, making them bankrupt. So you leave, end up on the street, and you go into the business. And eventually you go behind bars because it's criminal activity. So the dirty cops who are taking action, these actions, who are taking part in it, um, are this is their agenda. This is their agenda. They're actually driving the program. And the other part of the experiment is the alert system, red, orange, yellow, whatever. And you're being mobbed as a result of the level of alerts. and hit with microwaves depending on the level of the alert. The power depends on the level of the alert. Red meaning the highest power, which I've also demonstrated. So let's talk a little bit again about this family who's harassing me in the building. And Daddy had the account from Gord, I'd imagine, continuously flagged. And it was privately placed before. It was not a public affair as it is right now. I heard that Badr Nizar decided to go public with it. So that was back in 2012. Interestingly enough, in 2012 was just about the year, I believe, Rohini Besasa said she was starting to hear voices. So, and I'm gonna have to continue this.